Can we talk for a minute about our Integrating Heart and Mind workshop?
Absolutely. I'm excited. It's coming up in the fall of 2024.
I'm so excited. We changed the format to make it more accessible to people with like work schedules and personal schedules. And so this time we're going to do it 3 hours on a Friday afternoon or evening, depending on where you're at, and 5 hours on Saturday for 2 different weeks in September.
Yeah, and it's so great. Like if you're finding yourself stuck in like sticky bad patterns or having communication issues or something like that, or if you want to just like get closer and trust yourself or your partner more, this is the workshop for you.
Yeah, and individuals are welcome, couples are welcome. If you're interested in really thinking through how to serve yourself well inside of your relationships, then we've built a workshop that will support you in finding the ways that are just right for you.
To sign up, head over to our website at whydoesmypartner.com/events.
We hope you'll join us. Welcome to the Why Does My Partner podcast.
I'm Jules.
I'm Vicky.
And I'm Rebecca. We're your hosts. We're also couples therapists and messy humans bumbling through our own relationships every day.
We met at a training, and our secret sauce is that we and our partners became fast friends. Between us, we have more than 40 years of experience holding hard relational questions with our clients. We're going to bring those questions here.
And together, we're going to take a stab at answering those questions. This podcast is not a substitute for couples therapy. If something you hear in this podcast stirs something deep within you about your relationship, reach out to a couples therapist in your area.
We also love to hear your questions, so don't forget to go over to whydoesmypartner.com to leave a question of your own. Here's today's question.
Welcome back. This is Jules.
This is Vicky.
And this is Rebecca. And here's today's question. Why does my husband not see things in our house that are askew? Broken curtain rods, shower curtains hanging off rods, spilled coffee on the floor, weeds in the yard.
Ooh.
I don't either.
See, some people don't.
And I don't know, but Jules is going to tell us why.
There is actually reason for this. Well, first of all, I want to give a nod to the possibility that it's not that he doesn't see.
That's possible.
It might just be that he doesn't care the way you do.
Or it may be that he knows, like in his implicit memory system, not in an out loud or conscious way, that that's not his problem.
Mhm.
Right? It may not be that he's not seeing it, but also it may be that he's not seeing it. So why would this be happening? Well, I want to talk about the salience neural network. So the salience neural network is a really vast network, and it happens all over your brain. It's not in a specific part of your brain. This is really important to understand. And I'm about to use a metaphor, and that metaphor does not imply in any way that there are actual nets in your
Yes, there
brain.
are.
So there are not nets in your brain. That's not true. But also, so your salience neural network has to do this funky job. Everybody breathe for a second with me. This is wild. Your lower brain, your medulla oblongata, which is the bottom of your brainstem, is taking in about 11 million bits of information per second. 11 million bits of information per second. Inside your body, outside your body.
But that's like,
and
if I'm looking at the computer right now, which I am, which is true, that like the 11 million bits is that I'm literally seeing text that is black. So that would be like at least 2 bits, right? Like every single one of those things is another bit of information, right? So that 11 million entails all those details.
All those little details, right? But it's still 11 million bits of information.
It's still a lot of information. And they're not,
a lot of information.
like, let's just be clear that those 11 million bits are taken in implicitly, like unconsciously. We're not really conscious of all the information we're taking in.
Exactly. Because by the time it gets up to the part of your brain that's doing more conscious stuff, that part of your brain is processing somewhere between 5 and 60 bits of information per second. So you need a network that's going to decide which of the 11 million bits should become the 5 to 60 bits.
I can't even fathom that.
We have a name for it. The salience neural network.
Wow.
Now, how does the salience neural network process information. It is guessing mostly based on emotional potency and relevance to you and your goals. So when you look ahead at the computer, Vic, you're going to see different stuff. Different stuff is going to jump out to you than it will to me. So like, for example, here's something my brain just did funny with our computers. I can see everyone here, and each one of us has plants in our backgrounds. That is what I just noticed. What did you just notice? Something different, even though we are looking at the same screen.
Rebecca has a plant?
So I just asked my brain. Yeah, it's right there in the corner. There.
I can't even see it from here.
It's a plant. There's a literal plant.
Literally
right
don't
there.
see it.
That's hilarious. See?
I have a plant
The
This
right
is what I'm
here.
talking
on mine
about.
is smaller. I know why.
Oh,
Okay.
well, here.
there
Would
you
this
go.
help you then?
No, still can't see it.
Can you
Can you
see
see
it better
that?
now?
I
It's
did when
literally
when I
pointing at it.
closed the chat
Yeah, when you
box.
opened it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
Oh, there you go.
you know what I see? I see that we all have microphones. And also, this is weird. We all have eyes.
How Jules didn't spit out her drink with that, I don't know. But yes.
No.
But I'm also going to say that had the screen been this big, I don't know that I would have noticed the plant anyway. So Jules, I totally hear what you were saying.
Exactly. This is what I'm talking about. So we all see different stuff all the time. And so it's really tough to be married.
Sorry,
to be
that
in
wasn't the
long-term
funny part.
relationship. Because one of the things that's going to happen is you will be paying attention to different data inside of a single scenario all the time. And so what your salience neural network is catching and feels emotionally potent to you and relevant, basically, is not necessarily the same as what your partner sees. So probably part of what's going on, if they really don't see it, is that for whatever reason, they are not marking that as emotionally potent enough information to make it through the filter. So you'll have probably all had this experience if you've been super into a band all of a sudden. You hear their music everywhere, or you see advertisements on the road for them, or if you're researching buying a car.
I've always heard this example.
You've never noticed it before, but all of a sudden there are Honda CR-Vs everywhere.
Everywhere.
Just so weird. I never noticed them, but they're everywhere, right? And it's because my brain has been spending hours on the computer researching Honda CR-Vs, and my brain went, okay, I guess this is emotionally relevant data. We'll feed up for you. Right? And so one thing that can help if you are in a position with your partner, and it is really important that you share a vision of a scene, you can see if it's possible to share the emotional potency of the relevant data for you with your partner and see if they can join you in adding emotional potency to the data you would like them to pay attention to.
So let's talk about what that looks like. Like in action. Let's
play
kind
that
of do a little bit of a play.
Can I tell you? Yeah, go ahead.
No,
you have an idea.
Go ahead, yeah.
No, you go. You go.
Well, sweetie, every time I walk through the kitchen and I notice that the sink is still full, my heart skips a few beats and I feel this like clenching happening in my chest. And I start to simultaneously wonder if I'm in this all by myself and think that I'm not doing a good enough job at just humaning. And I feel really alone.
This is about dishes?
Uh-huh.
What?
Can you help me out here? Because like maybe if we both notice that the sink is full, then I won't have to carry the weight of that all by myself.
You want me to notice the sink is full?
That would help me a lot.
What do you want me to do when I notice
That was my next question.
Well, maybe we could both work on cleaning the dishes.
Oh. When I don't see it, you feel like on your own.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, well, babe, I don't want that. There you go. So notice it took a little bit of back and forth. Don't give up right away. It took a little bit of back and forth as we were playing that out for me to add my own emotional potency. It can't be your emotional potency. It's got to be my emotional potency.
But I have to give you enough information that you understand why that would even be something for you to register.
Right.
Because if I'm not going into the
Right.
space of what is happening inside of me, then you're not going to have that information because, of course, that's not happening inside of you.
Right. It's not. I didn't even notice the dishes.
Right.
I was thinking about this in my own world. And by the way, I'm about to tell you about I have never successfully changed this. In my family,
this is
I
gonna be
have
fun.
salient data in my system.
This is going to be good.
I have never successfully handled this. We have a pantry problem in my house. So I am slowly coming to terms with maybe I have some stuff with my brain and how it's organizing stuff, but I get really hyper organized or I cannot find anything. That's not an ADHD cover or anything, is it? Anyway, that's neither here nor there at the moment. I'm like getting this. I'm like, wait a second.
I'm sitting
There's
here
something
like
different
walking
happening in my
through your
brain.
pantry in my brain right now. Like I'm in there and I'm going like, oh, I love this pantry and I love how it's organized and I know that this goes here and that goes there and I can find this over here and like I'm already like I know your pantry better than mine.
That's because it's perfect. And everything
Every
has
time
a
I've been
spot.
there, yes.
It's labeled. It's labeled. I've labeled.
I wish people could see this right now. Just your face.
Here's the problem.
You are right now.
Is that if it is not where it should be, I literally cannot see it. And so I think we are out of it. And I go buy more at the store. And so we have triple things. Now, here's what happens with my family. My family does not believe it is important to put things on the shelf where they're supposed to be. And that is how paint ends up next to cereal in my house. And so every 3 months, I take the entire pantry apart and put it back together so that I can find shit again. I'm
just sitting here thinking, God bless your family, because I've had conversations with Adam about your pantry.
Totally. And what I've come to, honestly, this is my journey with it, is I've come to a space of accepting that this is actually emotionally potent data for me, but not for anyone else in my house. I'm just going to let it go. And if I want the pantry to be like I want it, then every 3 months I will redo it. Because I've tried to help them see the emotional importance of this, and they have never joined me in that. And they don't actually even see what I'm talking about.
By the way,
like, well, it's right there.
Every time I come home from your house, I reorganize my pantry.
That's because my pantry is awesome.
I love your pantry so much that I reorganize mine when I get home every single time.
Stay that way, though?
Fun.
No, because nobody in my family cares about keeping it that way except for me. And so I get inspired to do it whenever I go visit Jules. And I sit inside of her pantry going, and I
it's
feel
so soothing.
Yes. And then I come
it's
home.
So soothing. You can see where everything is. It's perfectly organized.
And you've always organized it before I get there.
See, emotionally salient data for Rebecca, not emotionally salient. She's never even seen that my pantry is so well organized.
I've never seen it not
Vic
organized.
doesn't even know. I know. Vic doesn't even know that that's a thing. See, she's looking at us like,
I didn't walk into it, and I'm feeling very left out.
I don't know that you've ever seen me do this because I actually, like, you're teaching sometimes, right? Or you're doing something else, and I'm sitting in your pantry going, wow.
It's because it's so perfectly organized. It soothes my brain.
Yeah. It soothes mine too, by the way.
Yeah, totally. I find things when they're in order and in logical categories very soothing.
Very much so. It's funny, like I noticed that there are things in my house too that like everybody in my house can walk by and nobody can notice. But I can't walk by and not notice.
Yeah. Sometimes I walk into our bathroom or into the kitchen and all the doors of our cabinets are open. And I'm like, how did no one else in our house realize that all the cabinets in this room are open?
How do people leave my house and not turn off the lights?
How
do they leave all the lights on?
I'm totally the outlier here. I leave the lights on sometimes, and
I leave all the lights on.
Okay.
I'm the one who leaves all the lights on in my house. So, but get this, one time, Stella and Adam were on the road overnight. They went on a little trip, and because I've been in my head blaming them. for leaving all my cabinets open.
Uh-oh, did you do it to yourself?
Yes.
I totally did it to myself. I'm the one who's leaving all the cabinets open. So in some moments, it's salient data to me. And in other moments, clearly it is not.
That bites. I'm so sorry that happened.
Oh, I think it's hilarious.
It's awesome.
But it's like another moment of like, come back to your humility,
Yeah.
Jules. This is being human. So, sweet caller.
Mhm. Why
Um,
does your partner not see things in your house that are askew? Because salient neural networks.
and what is emotionally relevant to you is different than what's emotionally relevant to your partner. And so probably that's what's going on.
You want to
And
change
if
it,
you
you've
want
got it.
to
Yeah.
shift it,
Wait, what?
Yeah.
you need to join each other and make it emotionally salient data for both of you. If you can, then you'll start noticing. So if you happen to be in a position where you could be the partner of this caller, you could take this data, make a little U-turn and go, I wonder what my partner would like me to pay attention to that maybe I'm missing.
Mm-hmm.
You could even ask them later.
That would be wild.
I also wonder, and I don't think this is part of the Salience Network. So I'm very, very lucky that this is not, well, it does bother Gabe, but not that much. That at night, I am not one of those adults or women who have to clean the kitchen after dinner or have to like wash all the dishes. I am not. Or if we entertain on a Sunday, I will literally leave everything because I don't see clients on Mondays and I will clean them on Mondays. And it shocks my father-in-law to no end because my mother-in-law can't do that. So we walk into the other room and he's like, Vicky, are you? I'm like, no, it'll wait till tomorrow. And I can just leave it. And again, thank goodness it doesn't bother Gabe. I got to tell you guys though, the more of my own work I'm doing with multiple sources of therapy, I have bizarre sources of therapy, but I'm starting to do the dishes after dinner
Mhm.
and not mind it or anything. It's not a burden. I'm just doing it. And I'm like, oh, my brain isn't shutting down the way that it used to. So it just
Yeah,
has me
that's
wondering
interesting.
about this
Mhm.
partner, like if there's any kind of shutting down process. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. And again, I'm lucky that
Oh,
I
I
love
think
the
that's a huge
curiosity.
like I
point.
just like and I'm
Yes.
lucky that Gabe it doesn't make his head explode that because
Mhm.
it's really bad on Monday nights because I see clients like you guys on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. If I leave dishes Monday night, that kitchen could be a nightmare till Thursday. And he
Mhm.
handles it and he doesn't get mad at me, but because
Well,
I
my
own the
hope
kitchen in our
is that
house.
if it really bothered him, he would clean the dishes.
Well, I
Yeah.
own the kitchen. That's a whole different a whole different
Oh,
agreement that we
gotcha.
guys had. So I
You have an
did need to
agreement.
point. I
Got it.
was saying that quietly, but I do need to point that out. That's
Yeah.
an actual verbal agreement between us. Long
He's
story.
Mhm.
not allowed to do
That
the
well,
dishes.
no, it's just that he
Got it.
could. That would not be a problem. But that I told him from the beginning that I would own the kitchen. So that's a whole other thing. And
Gotcha.
sometimes he does do it, and sometimes he gets resentful. So that's a whole other thing. But so that's what I mean
Yeah.
by the
Got it.
shutting down. So I just want to put it out
Yeah,
there.
yeah. No, I
There
think
could
this
be
is a
something else
really,
going
really
on
huge
with
point.
with
I
this
think
partner.
that there is something tangible in there to
Mhm.
kind of play with. And
Mhm.
and there's another way
Mhm.
that this shows up in my home,
Mhm.
which is that I have this network that like if I walk around and I see an empty glass, I'm going to pick it up. You know this about me,
mentioned
Vic.
this, yes.
I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna go clean it or put it in the dishwasher or
Mhm.
something like that. And
Even if it's in
for the
use.
rest, well, how do you know that if no one else is like sitting there next to it, right? And so
Mhm.
there are lots of people in my home who they leave empty glasses and stuff around the
Mhm.
house, thinking that they're going to use them again, and then I,
Pick them up.
I'm the one who had already picked them up, and so I'm learning to attune,
Mhm.
right, to the fact that maybe I need to consider and ask, oh, is this something you're still using?
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
that's a whole piece of work that I had to kind of unfreeze from.
Yeah.
That's why I'm kind of like bringing this in now because I had to unfreeze from and go, oh, don't just be in like autopilot all the time, Rebecca. Like actually slow down
Mhm.
and check in with the other people that you share a home with.
That's a
Mhm.
beautiful way to phrase it too. Actually check in with the other people that you share a home with. Yeah.
Mhm. Well, and it's not like you were being oblivious, really. You were
The opposite.
paying
Yeah.
attention to a
Yeah.
thing.
I was paying attention to a glass. I wasn't paying attention to the relationship.
Correct.
Fair.
You
Yeah.
were paying attention to this piece of
Not
data
this
and not
piece of
that
this
data.
piece of data.
Right.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
wasn't thinking about who's using the glass. I was thinking about empty glass, clean it up.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
But that actually
Yeah.
has an impact on the people I'm around when,
Sure.
all the glasses are now in the dishwasher.
You're a glass collector. You're a glass collector.
I'm also the reason they're all clean.
You are. I like it.
You are very true.
I'm also a glass collector, but mine are only all half used on my nightstand. 20 of them.
I would love to come and clean them up.
You may. Come on over.
All right. Let's leave this here. So good talking to you all, and we'll be back next week.
Bye-bye.
See you next time.
That wraps up this week's episode. Join us again next week for another Why Does My Partner?
We hope that you continue to listen wherever you get your audio and that you'll follow the show.
To go deeper, join us at one of our workshops. You'll find our next date at whydoesmypartner.com.
Did you know you can ask us your questions?
Your questions are relational gold.
Go to whydoesmypartner.com to either write in or record your question for a future episode.
And here's some gratitudes. Thanks to Al Hoberman, our sound editor and podcast production magic maker.
Thanks to every one of you who has joined us for our workshops in the past. We've learned so much from all of you.
And thanks to everyone who's reviewed the show on Apple Podcasts. Your reviews help others to find the show.
Take care of each other best you can.
See you next time.